Many times people are very busy and they have a lot of work. They make a lot of money. They go through the motions of this life, mashallah, successful in every single aspect except for spirituality. And their families start to fall apart. Their businesses are expanding. Their wealth is expanding. Their reputation is expanding, but the family's falling apart. The people that are friends with them are just friends with them because they want their money, and they no longer have any meaningful relationships because success has its price. They've got something to do. They've got something to look forward to, but they've got nothing to love, and life falls apart. The wealth becomes a punishment. The success becomes a punishment in this dunya to them. And then sometimes people have something to do and something to love. But you know what happens to celebrities and people who went after fame and who spent their entire lives trying to build their repertoire so that they could get to a level where everybody admires them and everybody knows their names? You know what happens to them? They shave their heads bald and take a baseball bat and start beating people's cars. They commit suicide in hotel rooms. All they say they want, they start having interviews on TV like Masakin, poor people, and say, all I want is to be able to go out with my family and have an ice cream cone without a camera in my face. Ya salam, you had that. Nothing to look forward to. The dunya wasn't all that it was made out to be. But unfortunately, most people will be sheep and they'll go through these motions and they have nothing. And you know what, dear brothers and sisters, one of the most dangerous things from a deen perspective, one of the worst things that can happen to your faith is when you become part of status quo. Whenever you are on the brink of hypocrisy, because the only thing that you do is you meet the standards of society. The only thing that you do is you give just enough charity so that people want to say, hey, you need to give some more charity. You go to the masjid just enough so people don't say, hey, you need to go to the masjid. You do just enough, you give just enough back so that people accept you, so that you're meeting society standards. And why is that on the brink of hypocrisy? What are the two hardest salawats according to the Prophet ﷺ? I can't hear you guys. Fajr and Isha. Now, mashallah, when we look at Isha Salah, if you go to any masjid in the country, you'll find that Isha is the most crowded Salah, and usually Fajr comes at a close number 2. So we can all say, mashallah, there's no hypocrisy in the ummah, right? We're all doing so well. Or maybe Rasulullah ﷺ said that because, you know, it's hard to wake up for Fajr because you might oversleep and so on and so forth. And why did the Prophet ﷺ say that? And what was the context of that? The context of that, dear brothers and sisters, is that the munafiqeen, the hypocrites, would not bother themselves going to Fajr and Isha because at those times you didn't have chandeliers and lights and those types of things. You go to Fajr and Isha and nobody would know you were there anyway. So hey, I'm meeting society standards. Look, I'm there for Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib. Think about that for a moment. Meeting status quo. Making sure that everything is okay in other people's eyes. Making sure that I'm doing just enough. I give just enough. I do just enough so people will say, mashallah, he's a good brother. Mashallah, she's a good sister.